Hello, my fellow seekers. Welcome to Into the Work, therapy for empaths, seekers, and the intuitively driven, where you have front row seats to therapy sessions and expert interviews that will help you define the important work that you're here to do. So I guess you actually have something better than front row seats. You practically have a seat on my couch. That's right, you will have unrestricted access to actual sessions with real people, exploring real life issues. You will continue to be inspired by powerful conversations with experts and healers that might just share exactly what it is that you need to hear to get unstuck. I am Michelle Pauverman. I am a recovering people pleaser and former anxiety-driven empath, turned now mostly grounded psychotherapist and intuitive coach. I have been helping people for almost 20 years manage their limiting beliefs and anxiety to finally stop the self-sabotage and step into their gifts. I created this podcast, Into the Work, to give you a place to learn more about yourself and give you actionable strategies to finally move those roadblocks holding you back so you can go for what you want. Above all else, my hope is that this podcast is a catalyst for your awakening. If you're listening, you've already taken a step towards getting off of autopilot, and our next steps together will be taken episode by episode, waking you up to the possibilities, the new ways of thinking and being, so that you can stretch into that next level of your story. The spark has already been lit, and my friend, this is a journey from spark to brilliance. So together, let's light a fire. Hi, welcome back to Into the Work. Today, we are diving into a topic I love to talk about, actually, and that is where psychology meets energy. And I just have always been fascinated the way we can look at how biology and energy combine together and how the mind and body work together. It's just so fascinating. But today, we're going to explore how your beliefs and your energetic boundaries are constantly shaping each other. And when you align them, you step into a kind of power that feels more unshakable and deeply authentic. That's what I want for you. I want you to feel like your sense of self is unshakable and deeply authentic. And we talk so much about that on this podcast. And today I want to just give you a little soundbite on what's really simple, actually, what can be done very simply for you to start to really, create this different belief system and just watch how it shifts your whole energy system, your energy field, and how your mindset, your energy field work together, and how you go out into the world and you get the evidence. You see how that is different, how you hold yourself different. We are going to get there. Okay. At the core, your subconscious beliefs decide where you place your energy, right? It decides how you're going to show up in the world. And let me tell you how. If you hold a belief, like I have to take care of everyone else first. Like, let's just say this is so deeply ingrained in you. You come from a long generation of women who hold this belief. It's like deeply ancestral, right? And each woman has this strong belief that you have to take care of everyone else first, and then you're allowed to take care of yourself. Now, your energetic boundaries will almost always be leaky. People will sense it. They'll take from your energy because you're unconsciously signaling that is okay. And when you shift that belief to my energy is valuable and sacred, suddenly your boundaries strengthen. Suddenly you don't even need to say anything out loud. People just feel the difference. They just say something's really different about you, right? They respond differently to you. They start respecting your boundaries, where before they never did. They were like, come on, please, right? There was a different energetic exchange based on a different belief system, which gave you different results in your relationships, okay? Let's just pause here and look at the science, because I've talked about Dr. Bruce Lipton. He is the author of The Biology of Belief. And I've talked about him before on this podcast because I just think so much of his book is brilliant and has shown us that our subconscious beliefs are actually far more powerful than our genetics. And he found that it's not just our DNA, but our perception of the world that turns genes on or off. Okay. And so think about that. Belief literally changes your biology. And if belief can shape the way our cells behave, imagine how it shapes the field of energy around us, which is literally the source for our cells, right? It's how everything comes in. And now, if you are new to my podcast and you are just hearing about this, the energy field, we know that it exists. Scientifically, we've been able to finally really understand it more and understand, just imagine even just 12 inches around your body, just even from that scope, just imagine this field around your body that is always accessing your energy system within your body. And it's feeding and it's moving, flowing, and it's bringing in energy. And around that is a boundary around that energy field. And it sort of does protect you from the world around you. And the more sensitive you are, the more of an empath you are, the more, when you see yourself as really taking on other people's stuff a lot, that's when we know that that boundary is thin and that you're meshing with other people energetically. And so when we look at how our beliefs shape our cells, and then therefore we can also see how, that ripple effect because everything is just an exchange of information from inside and out, from your energy field to the internal body. So your aura, or the energy field, your sense of sovereignty, let's say, is responding in real time to what you believe about yourself. So if you believe, I'm unsafe, I'm unworthy, I'm not enough, and I'm not saying you say these things to yourself every day, but you believe them. You hold the belief. So your nervous system is responding to that belief, right? It can simply just be a belief that stems itself into your thoughts and behaviors and actions, but your nervous system leaks stress signals and your energetic boundaries get weak. And when you hold beliefs like, I am safe, I am worthy, I am enough, your nervous system starts to relax, your energy field expands, and people around you sense that they can't just walk in and take from you. It is like magical. When you start to heal these beliefs, people start acting accordingly. And I can't tell you how many of my clients or people in my programs they're actually shocked. They're like, I can't believe that was her response. I figured she'd throw a temper tantrum or a fit and they're shocked that people are like, okay, that makes sense, because you're showing up in your energy differently. And the energy field is mimicking this for you. And it's enmeshing with other people's energy fields and informing those, right? We read people on so many levels, and energy is definitely one of them. And so energy follows thought. Imagine that, right? So you have a thought and energy follows that thought. And a boundary isn't just a wall you put up, it's an intention carried by an emotion and thought. And when you believe your boundary is real, others feel it, even if you never say a word. Have you ever noticed how someone can walk into a room and you instantly feel their presence? That's belief and boundary alignment. They are holding themselves in such a way, right? Their invisible force field says, this is who I am. This is what I allow. And you just want to follow suit. You just want to step in line. You want to be in alignment with this person in some way, or it scares the crap out of you and you run because you don't know what to do with that. But that's another episode. But so one of the things I came across that I wanted to talk to you when we were having this very important conversation about your beliefs. This is maybe one time you're ever going to hear me talk about football in this podcast, because you're very rarely going to hear me talk about football because I'm not a huge follower. I'm a family of boys, and so I know what's going on, but this is what really inspired me. Okay. And it's the Trevor Lawrence story. I don't know if you have ever heard of Trevor Lawrence. You probably haven't if you're not an NFL follower. But here's the deal. I learned about this from the book, The Gap and the Gain. So just want to give credit there. The Gap and the Gain, fantastic book about how you can really measure success in a really incredible, beautiful way. Just a little synopsis. I'll just tell you, The Gap and the Gain tells you need to look backwards in order to know if you're okay. if you are growing. You don't look forwards, right? You don't look into the future. You'll always come up short, but you're always looking backwards. And that it teaches you how to measure your gains through, measure yourself through the gain that's happened in the past 5 years versus the gap between you and this future goal. So anyways, the NFL quarterback Trevor Lawrence once said something that completely shook the sports world. He made a statement. He said to everybody, "I don't need football to make me feel worthy as a person." And that simple statement the media went wild. Critics were up in arms. He's not a true competitor. You can't be great without obsession. What is the point of this thinking? And I'll tell you, Trevor doubled down and he wrote a message to everybody because, literally, it sounds like everybody was in an uproar. It really triggered people for him to say, "I don't need football to make me feel worthy as a person." And right? Like you thinking, that's really lovely. You as my listener are probably like, that's so beautiful. But the world was up in arms, right? The football world. But Trevor doubled down, like I said, and he wrote a letter. "I love football. I'm driven to be the best that I can be and to win. That being said, I am secure in who I am, and I do not need football to make me feel worthy as a person. If football were to go away," he inclined that if football went away, he'd be fine. If he could no longer play football, he is the least bit worried. He will go out and find his next passion project. He will become something else. And he has no question that it would lead to something really great. And so he holds this, as he called, the internal motivation. He is internally motivated. He's not motivated by the external world. And that's the psychology of belief meeting the power of an energetic boundary. His worth was not for sale. His identity wasn't tethered to an external achievement with a ball, right? And notice what happened? People started projecting their own beliefs onto him, their own stories about obsession and worth and what that all means. And that's what happens sometimes when you hold a clear boundary. You can sometimes trigger other people and what they're clinging to, right? Whatever they're clinging to starts to feel threatened by maybe what your boundaries are. And those who have not found their own sovereignty, or AKA internal motivation, right? You're really modeling, or he modeled, and you model when you hold a boundary, what power actually looks like. He modeled to the football world of that what it really means to be in power. And that is so, so impressive. So that's the story I really wanted to share because I wanted to leave that with you because at the end of this podcast, this episode, I'm going to ask you to think about what you would like to, what's one belief you'd like to change. And I just want you to think of, Trevor, I want you to think of what that would mean for you to become internally motivated, meaning that you have the belief that you are enough and that everything you need is within you, not outside of you. So let's talk a bit about the nervous system as kind of a bridge between belief and energy. So when you're stressed, when you're dysregulated, when you're stuck in fear, your boundaries kind of leak, right? But when you regulate, when you ground and you breathe and anchor into worthiness, your aura strengthens. Okay. So knowing that's why pairing the belief work with energetic practices is so powerful. It's not enough to just say affirmations if you don't feel them or you aren't willing to feel them, aren't willing to take them on and say, I'm open to believing this. But when you embody them with grounding rituals, maybe you're visualizing light shields, you're calling energy back in, you're putting a hand on your heart and you're literally reprogramming your subconscious by repeating what's true for you, what is deeply, deep down inside, before all the programming is that you're enough. And your nervous system starts to respond to that. And so I just want to slide in here that as of this week, the discount goes away for the Boundary Mastery program. So it's the Modern Empaths Boundary Mastery program. And this is one of the foundations to the program. And that is that we are working to bridge belief and energy. And I've broken the program up into 3 parts. And one is the boundaries you have with yourself. And one is in the relationship you have with yourself. And one is you in relationships, right? You and how you're setting boundaries and holding your energy in relationships, how you are able to hold your wants, needs, and desires in relationships. And then we move into the 3rd section, which is all about managing your energy and shifting how your belief system and your thoughts and your mood, and how do you up level the vibration that you hold in the world. And it's really powerful. So I just wanted to mention it here, just a reminder that you do get to have that discount for $200 that's going to be ending in a couple of days. So based on when you get this on the 28th, on Thursday, that closes. If you'd like to come in, this would be the right time for you to come in and sign up, because you do get the discount. So, all right. So moving on, I want to talk about practicing strengthening this system of yours, where you are strengthening it so that you can really start to work on your beliefs and your energy system simultaneously. And so this is some basic ways. I'm going to start with basic ways. And that is, I mentioned visualization. I know I talk about that all the time, but visualization, my friend, is so freaking powerful. And so it really deserves to be mentioned like every single time, because if you're able to visualize, not everybody finds it easy to visualize. If you're able to visualize, I want you to start working on visualizing either a shield or protection around you as you use your mantras or reshape your beliefs. Somehow bringing in your energy field while you're stating your beliefs. Maybe you're imagining your energy returning back from everywhere it's been scattered. There's a beautiful ceremonial process where you are calling back your soul parts in shamanism. And I'm not a shaman, but I find it very powerful to call back our soul energy, because I do think we leave it behind and place it in the wrong places, right? We have these we can have attachments to outcomes that aren't even anywhere close, right? You're leaking energy for this thing that's not even going to be here for another 2 years, right? So we need to look at and call back our energy from all the areas that has been attached. So there's the energy behind you, the energy that you've left behind in relationships that hurt, or things that happened, or disappointments, the way that you wanted an outcome and then something happened different, but you weren't able to let go fully. That's all the places where we have to call back our energy. And we also have the forward future energy that we need to call back. And of course, right here in the present, is there something going on in your life right here, right now, that is leaking your energy? Is it keeping up at night? Are you feeling it, holding it? Are you having a difficult time grounding in it? Is it impacting you, your relationships? How is it impacting you? And so you're just calling back the energy and bringing it all back in, anywhere that scatters you, anything that triggers you. I want you to call back that energy and just bring it back into the body as you breathe in and out, and just bring that back in. And while you're doing that, I want you to come up with a mantra, a belief reprogramming, like my energy is sacred, or it's safe for me to be at peace. I love safety because it's so important for many of us to reprogram safety. It seems to be, honestly, at the very base of everybody's need is, I am safe. I am safe to fall asleep at night when I can't. I have to say to myself, I toss and turn. I say to myself, it's safe for me to fall asleep. It's safe for me to let go. It's safe for you to be worthy. It's safe for you to be at peace. It's safe for your energy to be sacred to you and important to you. It's really safe for you to honor your energy. And so when you do things like that while you're doing the energy work, it's really powerful. And always a good little triggers you can actually notice, pay attention to when you're saying yes out of guilt, obligation, or fear. When you're holding on to relationships, I got to call them. Even though you don't really care to have that person in your life, you're like, but I should call them because I feel so guilty. I haven't called them in a while. So those are moments that are signaling to you that your belief system needs a tune up, right? It's safe for you to do what's in alignment with what is your truth. It's safe for you to be true to yourself. It's safe for your actions to match what you want. And that's sometimes really hard for us. And then, that's kind of like even just from a beginning standpoint. As you get kind of further on, if you've done a lot of this work before, perhaps you've done a lot of tapping. Tapping would be a fantastic thing for you to throw in here. I'd love to hear you tell me, oh my gosh, Michelle, I was doing that. I did the energy. I pulled all my energy back to the body. Then I started doing tapping as I started bringing in the beliefs that I want to have. Super duper. Tapping is amazing. I would love to hear that. If you don't do tapping, get the body involved. Do some stretching while you say it. Maybe just, honestly, this may sound funny, but sometimes when I am in between clients, I will just use mantras and I will start to raise up my arms above my head and just create this huge bubble as I'm saying it. I'm actually just kind of signaling to the body. I will actually start to do movement like as if I'm a ballerina, right? You'll see me doing ballet in my office between clients, yes. But I will stretch and move and flow with my body in ways that I am just kind of recalibrating the whole body. And I've also talked to you about shaking, and that's also can be really good if you're really feeling low and tired and stuck energy, is to do some shaking. That's hard to do while saying beliefs, but also, as you're getting even more and more advanced at this, you're looking at really focusing in and showing up in the moment. So, of course, there's cutting cords and energy clearing for yourself. There's visualizing, like we talked about, but also just really showing up in the moment and doing things in real time throughout the day, every day. So, you're regulating your nervous system in real time, even when there's a high stress moment happening, not just after or before. We're talking in the moment. You are already geared up. You already know the work. You're in it. You're in this stressful conflict and you're deep breathing. You're bringing you're signaling you're safe. It's safe to be in this conflict. It's safe for me to speak my opinion. You're bringing in all the tools when you start to really show up in the moment. That's why I see it being more advanced, is that you're using the tools in the moment. You're using somatic experiencing, right? You're as somebody is, maybe you're in a situation that's super intense. Maybe it doesn't even involve another person, but you're starting to calm the body. You're bringing a somatic experience of safety into the body where everything's starting to relax, right? So there's all sorts of things that you can do. And just being aware of sensing other people's energy in a group or professional setting, or maintaining your boundaries without verbal communication. See what it's like, play around with, set the intention for your boundaries. You're going to walk into this meeting. You're going to hold that I'm a badass bitch. Right? You're going to hold that you are solid in your sovereignty. You are internally motivated. None of this matters. And I'm passionate and excited. And I am in alignment with my truth. And if all you do all day long is try to stay in alignment to what's true for you, then you are doing a fantastic job. Okay. Because here's the thing, honestly, your beliefs and your energy, they're kind of inseparable. I mean, the moment you start noticing, what you truly believe about yourself, your worth, your power, all of that, you will start seeing how your energy shifts. You might notice it's small at first. Like you might notice, oh, I feel calmer in conversations that used to drain me. Maybe you naturally pull away from situations or people that don't align with your energy. Maybe you can say no without that sinking feeling or guilt or fear, right? And over time, the shift becomes undeniable. It does require you to show up. It requires you to be practicing this all the time. And that's not easy. But I'm just encouraging you. We don't want perfection. Nobody wants it. I don't want perfection. No one wants it. It's not even pretty. It's not even actually what we enjoy watching. I was listening to a podcast yesterday from an amazing person who is doing a boot camp right now. And oh my gosh, I'm going to screw up her name. Hold, please. Her name is Kathy Heller. And I'm just loving her. I have not known her, but I was needing some juice and inspiration for the podcast. And so I've been doing her little boot camp, and it's like amazing. And one of the things she says is how nobody really likes perfection. And when she was talking to I don't even remember who, but somebody who she knows that works in the industry, like movies and such, that they choose a character and make them perfect so that everybody will hate them. Like literally. So when you look at a movie, the character who's perfect, everybody hates. And take a character who spills coffee on herself, is a mess in some way, is so imperfect. Everybody roots for them. Everybody so wants to zero in on them, and that's who their heart goes to. And because we don't really want perfect, it's not what we're looking. It's not real. We don't resonate with it. So please know, you don't need to be perfect, right? The movies tell you so. But over time, when you do this work, the shift does become undeniable, right? Your presence starts to command respect effortlessly. That's what happens when you've been doing the work and you suddenly walk into a room and you ask for what you need. When you would put money on the table that people would be pissy, complaining, or arguing with you to get what they want. And you're met with, oh, sure, no problem. Okay, no, don't worry about it, right? And you're like, what? What just happened, right? That's the magic of this work. Opportunities and people that honor your energy start showing up with less struggle. It's like easier to get the opportunities. This is the manifesting energy that comes with it. Your own intuition becomes louder and clearer and easier to trust because it's just less noise. Working with your beliefs isn't just about feeling better inside. It literally changes how you hold your energy in the world. And your boundaries strengthen, your aura expands, and you step into the kind of power that's, dare I say, magnetic and confident and deeply aligned with who you are. Because that to me, that is exciting. That draws me in. Like, I love that. When I see somebody who's exuding that, I'm like, ooh, I'll have what she's having, right? That is powerful. So today, I want you to just ask, I'm going to break this down to something really simple because I know I can get really big in my excitement and make it all seem so, pie in the sky. But today, I want you just to think, after you've heard this podcast episode, I want you just to notice one belief you've been carrying around that might be leaking your energy. Ask yourself, is this serving me? Is there something right now that you know that leaks my energy? What is the belief you might be holding? And don't worry about being perfect. You might get a belief and name it and be like, that's really not quite it. And then I want you to take another deep breath, slow your roll, get in your body, and just ask yourself again, what is the belief? And see what your body tells you. See what you get. Do it intuitively. Ask yourself, oh, what is this? What is this? How is it serving me? How can I help you feel better? How can I make this better? And then imagine what it would feel like if you truly believed your worth in that area. I want you to hold that feeling in your body when you get to it, when you can visualize it. Can you imagine what it would feel like if you truly believed your worth in that area? Hold that and notice how your energy might respond. That's where the transformation begins. Just one belief, one conscious shift, one moment of aligned energy at a time. The more you practice, the more effortless it becomes. You are already more powerful than you realize, sister. I'm telling you, pay attention to it. You are already powerful. So again, just as a recap, shift one belief, watch your energy, watch your boundaries, and watch your life transform. Just one choice at a time. Your power is already there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode, this podcast. I can't tell you how grateful I am that I am going on episode 76 right now. And I know that when I post that episode that you are somebody who comes and listens to me. It's like you're saying, I want to be in a relationship, Michelle. And I'm like, yeah, me too. This feels so good to feel like, even though it's a little bit one way, obviously, or I'm doing all the talking right now, I do feel your energy. I feel you listening. And I'm so, so appreciative that you take the time. And I really hope it makes a difference. because that just is like, oh, that excites me. So have an amazing day. I'll talk to you next week. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Into the Work Therapy for Empaths and Seekers. Don't forget to grab your free gift, your Shadow Work Transformation Bundle at michellepoverman.com. I've included everything you need to get started to break through the patterns of self-sabotage and finally start to heal the parts of yourself that are getting in the way of truly reaching your potential. From a powerful meditation designed to help you meet and embrace your shadow self, to the guide that's full of curated prompts and important questions to support you on this journey. This really can be the work for you to unmask the root cause of all the issues you've been experiencing, honestly, and start to feel free to believe in yourself and go for what you want. The link for this free bundle is in the show notes. And if you like this episode, I would be so grateful if you could take a moment and rate, click and follow, and leave a review. Of course, you can always follow me on socials at Michelle Poverman. And keep in mind, as you embark on your journey from spark to brilliance, remember, the universe is always conspiring in favor of your awakening. Everything that's happening is in support of you lighting your own fire within. So until we meet again, may your path be well lit and your heart be guided. Shine bright, seekers. Until next time.